Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a guest here at Melsoft. She goes by the name of Mashebo Seto, and she is a multi award winning developer, 7-time hackathon winner. She is amongst the 100 most influential women in South Africa in tech. She's a graduate from Wheating Code, an advocate for women in tech, and just a very good, talented person we are very interested to hear from today. She's going to be sharing her story and what she's about. Stay tuned. Hello, Mashego. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So I hear you
Awesome.
here to tell us about your story.
Yeah, I am, and I hope people will get motivated to not give up on hackathons, to actually have a different perspective towards participating in hackathons. Because I
Mm,
think the main core purpose of this session is to actually bring that a limp of faith that actually if Matip was able to do it, I will be able to do it. So yeah, I hope everyone will leave this seminar or a webinar feeling motivated.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
There's people listening, and we're ready to hear what you have to say for us.
Awesome. Um, I'll greet again. Hi everyone. My name is Matsepo Soto. I am a IT graduate at NetBank. It's my eighth or ninth month. I'm not so sure. But the good part of it is that I got this job I'm talking about through a hackathon, right? As they did introduce me, I have won 7 hackathons and did it all alone, even though I'm not happy. I'm not proud about that. But I was able to achieve that by just showing people the capability, especially the judges, the capabilities of me being able to do it. Because I remember the 8 hackathon that I won, it was like in a team setting, and it was the Melsoft hackathon actually. And we got position number 2, but these 7 hackathons that I did mention, some of them they are national and some of them they are international hackathons that yeah I just kept on taking first position in all of them, right? So think I should before I start sharing, I think I should start by why did I start attending hackathons, right? I had a mentor by then when I was at We Think Code, who actually was doing very well. He by that time when we were talking, he was like a senior engineer with just 5 years of experience and was earning very well. And all the time when I would feel demotivated, he'd be like, if you want to earn the money that I earn, you need to work hard. You need to put yourself out there. You need to attend hackathons. I didn't even understand what the concept of a hackathon was until I actually met a mentor. And I think that's where mentorship comes in because it plays a very vital role because you have someone who's there to hold your hand and to actually lead you, right? So when they mentioned hackathons, I was very interested to say that, okay, let us see where we're going with this, right? Um, my first hackathon, it was the Geek Culture annual hackathon. I was
mm,
there with a vibrant idea. I thought that I was going to digitize the entire home office system, which is something that is actually happening right now, right? And I remember going there thinking that what, no matter what, my solution is the best. But I didn't even make it to top 10. And I remember when I got into a war room, they were like, you know what, girl, you are too ambitious. Forget about it. Try something else. Something will work out, but not that one. Stay away from anything that has to do with the government and the staff. Like if you want to host the Home Affairs information differently, why would they choose you over Azure? Why would they choose you over AWS and they are like physical servers? So there was that whole back and forth, and eventually I got it right, but we're not going to talk about that right now. I'm going to share my screen.
okay.
Allow to share the window, allow to share the screen. Okay, can you please let me know if you can see my screen?
Okay, is it shared?
You can see it.
Have you started sharing? I can't see anything
Yes.
yet. I can't see anything.
I will do it again. I will share a window. Hey, this Mac thing.
Okay, we can see your screen now.
I'm trying to share like the entire thing. Um,
Okay.
why is it doing this? Share. Let me share a window. Um, it's still not. It's not allowing. I'm just gonna give it a 2 minutes working on this. If
We did. We were
not,
able to. We were able to see your screen. I don't know what happened. You
is
shared
it
your entire
fine
screen
now?
and your now.
So you're not able to see the slide alone.
No.
You
Oh, when you're presenting, that's always a problem.
exactly. But
Maybe you can
sorry
also tell.
guys, we're just gonna give it a minute or two. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move. Yeah, are you able to see?
Last attempt. No, nothing yet. Nothing yet. Yes, I can see. I can see.
Fine. Something. But the thing is, you can see. Um, I want the entire part
Yes,
written hackathons beyond winning.
yes, I can.
Are you? Can you see it properly?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can see it properly.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you this again. Ne? So what I have in my mind, right? The same way I can see my slides, it's the same way I want you to see them, right?
Hmm.
So what I can see right now, it's like a full like presentation. Is it a full presentation?
Yes, it is. It's a full
Cool.
presentation. Yeah.
We can begin. Right. Okay, awesome. So as we did start, pardon for that, guys, but I'm just gonna go through the slides that I created. Usually, I'm not a slide person, I'm not a presentation person because I speak from the top of my mind because I know what I'm talking about. So it's not like I have to sit down to research and all of that. Whenever I talk about hackathons, I talk about my personal experience. I don't talk about it's not something that needs to be studied, but it's something that needs to be experienced. But they required presentation. I'm going to share my thoughts on this presentation. So, yeah, so the hackathons, right? When I was told that I need to speak about my experience, the thing that came to mind was that hackathons are beyond winning, right? So, hackathons are more than just a competition, they are the opportunities to learn, grow, and connect. And today we will explore why hackathons are powerful and how you can make the most out of them. Why we join hackathons, right? It's because we want to network first, meet with people that have diverse skills. When you are in a setup of a hackathon, you will know that you will find people that are specializing in cloud, others are doing DevOps, others are like front end engineers, back end engineers, besides from your team. Because obviously, when you come in with a team of your friends, of people that you know, you're going to work with those people. But I want you to be very intentional about developing like your network skills, because that's where most of the opportunities come from. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the first job that I ever got in tech, I got it through a hackathon. There's a CEO of a specific company that we met in a hackathon, right? And we exchanged numbers. And he's a very close friend of Larith and all of that, changed numbers. And all of a sudden, he came to my DMs and say that, hey, you know what? I love how you speak, right? You do have an element of understanding like a business, and you can speak to business people properly. Come into the business and become a business analyst. At that time, I was still a student at Within Code, still doing software engineering. But because I know that I'm also good in business, I said that why not? Later on, I breached from like being a business analyst to being a developer. And reason being a business analyst was taking a toll from me because I knew my capabilities. I knew that I'm a very good developer, more than like being a good business analyst person. But if it wasn't of that hackathon, I wouldn't have met that man that actually gave me the opportunity, right? That was the first person that actually believed in me when no one actually did. Because getting a job straight from school or a boot camp and all of that, it can be a bit overwhelming, because with our school specifically, there was just so much competition. But I ended up getting the job more earlier, more than anyone else, right? So keep it in mind. If you keep yourself blocked in in your corner and you don't want to network with people, I'm afraid that you will not build a good network of people. And I also want you to think about it from the perspective of a long term, like benefit, right? You want your kids to be saying that, oh, my mom has a friend that is a CEO. My mom has a friend that is a backend engineer. You know, my mom has a friend who's a HR at a specific company. We're doing it right now. We start right now with hackathons to build these networks. If there's one thing I picked up about Larith in most of the events that I had to attend, maybe that I found myself attending with him and all of that, is that he has the courage to actually stand up and approach someone he doesn't know, and they're going to talk and they're going to build a relationship from there. And tomorrow that same person will be the same person that you actually like need. You know, if I never met Larith through like my former boss, I wouldn't be here. So that alone is the power of networking. If I were to talk about network, I would go over and over and over and over again. And I did, as I did mention that with networking, the aim is to build long-term relationships and collaborations. The people that you meet up with in hackathons, they might actually be your business partners tomorrow. You might say that actually we tried implementing this. It might be the case that we didn't win, but I have picked up that you're good at one, two, three, and I'm a good developer. How about we start a company? And tomorrow it might be the biggest company you can ever run, right? So, and the reason why we join hackathons is because we want to share our knowledge, our ideas, and our opportunities. And when I'm talking about the part of the idea specifically, we always reach a ground where we do not align as a group with our ideas, right? Sorry, because everyone is so brilliant. Like everyone think that, you know what, my idea, if we go with it, guys, we're gonna win. Strus Bob. You know, you're like, guys, if we go with mine, we're gonna win. I'm telling you, and all of that. And then there's another one. And then now in the group, like there's just a lot of misunderstanding because one person is angry that you guys don't want to listen to their ideas and all of that. And I want to tell you about something, right? With the level of experience that I have in winning hackathons, I recently participated in a NetBank internal hackathon. And when the person suggested the idea, I knew it from the word go that we were not going to win. Reason being, I have experience in this. I know how the judges think. I know how they like. immediately when you present your solution, I understand the kind of questions that are going to come. But you might be asking yourself that, Matabo, why didn't you say it from the word go? Because the aim was to really not be the one that will say, oh, guys, I have won 7 hackathons, take my idea, we are going to win. But the aim was to learn and collaborate more than anything. I knew that attending that internal hackathon, I'm going to get access to senior engineers that understand like NetBank, like principles and all of that. And in the long term, these are people that I'm literally going to call whenever the code does not work, right? But I knew that we are not going to win because I did not allow myself to become a bigger person. It's easy for you to say that, you know what, if it's not my idea, we are not doing it. If you, oh, you love be having like the main character syndrome. But in hackathons, put that aside and go with what the majority of the people vote to, you know. So if they say that, we understand your idea, but we feel like Impost idea is better, then go for it. It's okay. At the end of the day, it's a learning experience more than anything. It's the obsession with winning, right? Many of us only focus on winning instead of learning. And the reality is that hackathons are a learning curve. You like you gradually learn from your experience. So, and the reason why we are so obsessed with winning is because of the prizes. You know, they'll be like first prize. I was recently mentoring at the G20 hackathon, tourism hackathon, and the prices were crazy. Like it was like 175,000 rand for the first prize. Second prize is 145,000 rand, which is a lot of money, and it really gets to us at the end of the day because we like, I just want to win. We need to make it work, and that's it. But we forget the process of learning. You do not learn um, what you're developing at that moment, but you're also learning and increasing the level of your intrapersonal skills because you're going to learn different personalities. You're going to learn how to deal with people that have different behaviors. And at the end of the day, those are the things that people actually look into whenever they hire you. HR says that, oh, Matapa, I understand that you can write code, you're a back-end engineer, but are you able to actually deal with people? Right? So that's what like hackathons are for. If you go to a hackathon specific, for example, the last year's Microsoft Academy hackathon, we were doing the hackathon based on AI. Right? You're learning new things. You're learning how to integrate AI into your the entire system, the whole API integration things that you like. Okay, why should my API, why, how should I, you even learn how to store APIs if those are the things that you haven't actually like touched. And from a business analyst, UI and all of that perspective, you actually understand how technology comes hand in hand with business, you know. So, and the reason why I'm saying this, the obsession of winning, right? There was a time I think in 2023, when I was still new at We Think Code, I allowed myself to fail, knowing very much the beast I was going to build from myself. Right. So I would go to a hackathon to say that, you know what, even if I don't win, it's fine, bruh. But the thing was to sit down and listen to the questions that the judges will ask me and create a memory book in my mind to say that this is what the judges are looking for, right? And I did that. I failed like 3 to 4 hackathons before finally figuring it out. And the reason why that happened, it's because in order for you to be good at something, it's a learning curve. You gradually like need to learn. You learn how to present your business. You learn how to make it like inclined with the technical aspect of it, because maybe my ideas were amazing, but when they were looking at what I developed, they were like, mm-mm, it doesn't make sense. Or maybe what I developed was good, but the business aspect of the things were not making sense. I couldn't even answer how are we going to generate money from this, right? Because I'm a tech geek, I'm excited about the app I'm building and all of that. But if it doesn't make business sense and business value, unfortunately, it's not going anywhere because the people that are often the judges that are chosen, those people are not only technical, but they are deeply rooted into its investment. So they look at your business to say that if we choose to make this person win, what is going to come out from this? prototype that they have built. They want to see you being able to take an idea from a hackathon to actually a real life solution that is solving multiple problems, right? So the part that I'm trying to emphasize here is that embrace the failure as part of your growth. It is okay to not win the hackathon the first time. You might find out that the reason why you didn't win is because there was no unity in the team. But even though there was no unity, we were able to build relationships with other people within that you can take forward on the next hackathon to say that, oh, Mbali, can we work together in this hackathon? Then cool, yes. But for all the no's that you got, it's okay, it's for the better. Hackathons are the same thing as pitching your business to investors. You are selling this, try to convince them why they need the product. Are you solving a real problem? Who is experiencing this? Because with tech people, it is very serious and easy for us to be excited about building this $1 billion Tesla app that is going to change everything in South Africa, that is going to take our jobs and all of that. But is that what South Africa need? Does South Africa like meet the skills gap or something like that? Those are things you need to ask yourself before you can even think of being extremely ambitious, right? You need to shift the mindset in a hackathon. Go with the learning mentality more than the winning mentality. Money will come, it will definitely follow you until you master how to get hackathons right. So, from every no, you know that there's every lesson learned. You refine your approach. Sometimes you might find that you missed a part in your business plan that was very important and the judges asked you and you didn't have a question, and I'm going to answer you. I'm going to make an example with this one. In the NetBank internal hackathon, we were trying to be very smart, engineers that are going to roll back our app if like people are experiencing payments problems. So if Matsapo cannot make a payment and Sikek also cannot make a payment, 10 people and 50 people that are using the NetBank app, they're not being able to make a payment. We are saying that we want our Microsoft Azure AI agent that we have built to take the current version and roll it back to the previous version. And you need to, the most stupid thing we never thought of, right, is that, but there's always a reason why you need to upgrade an app, right? You do not upgrade an app for the sake of liking it. There must be things that you guys are actually running away from that you are refining. If you download apps a lot and you go to App Store, you will look at like there's always something like a commit message, but they write that we have fixed bugs and all of that, because each and every version that is upgraded, we are fixing things from the previous one. So rolling back is a temporary solution that is costing a lot of money and costing a lot of work, right? So refine your approach. Don't try to be overly smart technically and then you are not able to answer the questions that are like relevant, right? And you focus on teamwork and execution. And I'm going to tell you why I'm saying this. This is one thing I learned when I started working. Before, I'd be like, no, I'm fine on my own. And the reason why I would write code on my own and attend hackathons on my own, it's because my technical levels are very like high compared to people that are like joining hackathons, the majority of them, because people that are still trying to find themselves, they're um trying to learn how to build a website using HTML. Others are very good, but there was something missing. So because in most hackathons I attended, everyone would be asleep and I would be the only one awake because I am hungry for this. I want to win this. I want to build this product and I want to finish it. And if you think of that level of drive, it's hard to find someone who's going to match it, right? But in this case, I would realize that most of the time I would focus on building the web application or the mobile application that I'm building. And then when coming to do presentation, it hits me. I'm not able to actually complete like everything on my own. But when you work in teamwork and execution, each and every one has whatever that they are doing. If I'm building the user interface, you are building the backend. She's creating the slides. The UI designers are trying to refine our ideas. The project manager is keeping the time to ensure that everything is going well. When we work as a team, everything is deliverable in record time. But when you work alone, the pressure becomes higher and higher. It's not for the for it's not easy. It's not for the faint hearted, but if you want to do it, do it. But coming from me, who has a different perspective now, especially since I'm in corporate, I see how working as a team actually like takes the entire like team forward, because we do not like work alone to say that, oh, I'm done deploying, bye bye guys. But if Sihle is not done writing code, I'm gonna step in to say that, how far are you? How can I help you? Have you tried this approach? And teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah, I think I got it right. Building a winning solution. I need some serious water now. I've been talking for a long period of time, but it's fine. So, this is a very sensitive topic that I want us to focus on, like, wholeheartedly. Like, it's very close to my heart, and we need to get it right, right? Build things that make sense. Build things that solve real problem. Something people actually face, not what you think is the problem. You need to go out there, find what is the problem, come and bring a solution to it. I'm gonna make an example of let me think. I'm gonna make an example of Checker 6060. One of my friends, the CEO of Checker of Zuzi, is the one that actually developed Checker 6060. And the reason why Checker 6060 was developed was to say that we are approaching these COVID times, right? How can we bring convenience to people, right? And they look at the market, they are saying that we are looking at this specific market, people like Matepo that are always busy. They don't have time to go and buy groceries. They don't want to be on long queues. But how do we bridge the gap to ensure that shopping, the whole shopping experience, it's being cut into convenience, right? And that's when the technical part comes in to say that we are going to build Checker 6060, where we are bringing this concept to you to say that, do you know that even after you come back from work, from long hour, 2 hour traffic from Pretoria to Joburg, you can actually get your groceries when you get home right at your door? Think about that convenience. Checker 6060, it touched like the entire retail market and became a game changer. Till this day, there is no competitive like retailer that reaches the point of Checker 6060, because anything that ever happens, we are like, I'm buying a Checker 6060. But let me tell you what Zulzi did. This is developed by one person, right? But Zulzi, the one that the original application that Checker 6060 saw and say that, let us implement this for checkers. When they saw Zulzi, they were like, okay, Zulzi is cool, but we need it for checkers. But this is what Zulzi did. Zulzi recently came into the market to actually develop an application that also has a pharmacy inside of it. So I can get my food, I can get my medication and prescribe medication in one application. This is how we solve something that people actually need. I need my pills and I need them, the prescribed pills. Now they have people that are pharmacists that are like able to give you the prices immediately and give you the medication at that time. So this is what building a winning solution is. And I hope more than learning about the hackathon, you are learning about the power of running a business and pitching your business to people, because this is how you present it. These are the problem that people are facing, and this is how we are going to fix it. People cannot, all the retail stores, they close at 8 p.m. Uber Eats closes at 8 p.m. But how do we manage that people can still get alcohol, food, and medication after 8 p.m.? Zulzi comes in to say that we are closing the gap by ensuring that you can get anything you want from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. So you are building a winning solution. If you will never forget this story, you're gonna go far. On every business idea that you have, and you're just gonna like be very good at what you do because you are identifying the real problem that people have. Number two is that think about the consumer. Build with users in mind. That's why we have UI and UX designers. Even though they are the most difficult people to deal with, because they design incredible things that are very difficult to develop. Oh my god. sometimes the things that are designed there, like even the packages can't even find them. I can try like to install like React packages for graphs, but in order for me to modify it to make it look like the one that comes from a UI and UX designer, it's a horrible thing to even think about, right? But when we build, think about the consumer in mind. How will Matapos experience be when they use the app? And the reason why I'm talking about this, I want to talk to backend engineers a lot, right? Backend don't care about front end. They're like, oh, as long as my APIs are working, as long as they are hosted, as long as we are being able to integrate them, then it's cool. But I want to remind you that front end engineers are very important, because how your app makes me feel, I can literally like leave in a split of a second if I don't feel like welcome. And this is what I picked up from the Melsoft website. The first time I heard about it, it had like this amazing colors that were collaborating. Like I was like, okay, how do we do it? How, like, what is happening? Like, it drew like the attention to say that be interested in Melsoft, even though it's a very like long like belt web application. But I was very interested in knowing that this is actually a good school. The fact that the school itself was able to build a web application that is like this, then I'm sold. As a user in mind, I'm like, okay, this looks beautiful. Where to from here? Where can I start? Because I can see already what the school is able to do, right? And think about that web application if it didn't have front end. If the button is not clickable, if the button doesn't have any animation, if it's just boring, then there's no interest that is gained. So, in whatever that you do, when you form a group in a hackathon, please ensure that front end developers, UI and UX designers, they are there, right? And the other thing is, don't make complicated things, right? With the technology where now you can understand what is happening. But if you cannot explain what that button does to your 90-year-old grandmother, then you don't know what you're doing. So make it as simple as possible, but it needs to call. In UI and UX, there are certain color elements that you use, right? And they portray like different messages to people. There are calming effect colors. They are the ones that actually make you want to buy something right now. Those are the things that UI and UX designers went to school for, us currently studying at Melsoft for, in order to come into the business to say that, oh, as a developer, I think your app should be gray, not blue, not purple, not red. So this works so much, right? And this is how the tech so we need to balance the technical side and the business side all the time. This is where your project managers come in and your business analysts come from. Each and every company has people that are good in business, and the reason why, it's because they are able to see the things that us as developers we are not able to see, right? I can create like Twitter today, but a business analyst will be like, but how will you make money from that? Why do we have TikTok? How are we going to generate money from TikTok? What is it that we need to do that will make TikTok stand out to Matapo? And why should Matapo choose using our ads for her business more than other businesses? And when we match those things together, it creates a successful element of things. Whew. And what tech powers it? What I mean here is that the technology that you use to build an application will determine if you're going to build a successful company or hackathon solution or not. And the reason why I am making this whole conversation from a business aspect is because, guys, the only reason why people host hackathons is for us to take these things and make them the real life solutions to the problems. So think about it from a business idea, from making money. That's why in whenever you attending a hackathon, they'll tell you guys, no guys, you need to submit your lean business canvas. That's where you're going to mention what is the problem, what is the solution, and how can we fix it, and what tech powers it. This is the problem that I got disliked for in the G20 tourism. I was telling like other students to say that if you are a technical person and you're going to tell the Minister of Tourism about blockchain, virtual reality, and all these technical like bombastic words that they don't even understand, don't think that you are eating, right? You are not, because you need to communicate in a language that even non technical people can actually understand. If I say to you, we are going to use blockchain to build our application, I need to say that blockchain is a framework that does 1 2 3, and we are using it for 1 2 3, and we are choosing it over other technical specs because of 1 2 3 1 2 3, so you're taking people through like that technical journey to say that we just didn't wake up and say that we are using HTML. And trust me, you cannot build anything that makes sense with HTML that is going to be for a long time, especially for a business, because HTML doesn't have like components like React. So this is where tech powers it. This is where you think that, is this a good stack for this business that I'm developing? Then if that is the case, you're good to go. Okay, let me breathe. Presentation matters, right? Um, how you guys speak as a team matters. I've came across a lot of personalities of people that have the main character syndrome. They want to talk about everything. They want to present the technical side. They want to make everything make sense and like they are the hero of the team and all of that. But they do not know that is actually, and even in a workspace, your manager is looking at that. And to say that actually you don't have people skills, you don't know how to work with people, right? And whenever you build, guys, if there's a hackathon happening anytime soon that you guys are going to attend, please take the word I from the solution unless you are alone. Good. From a business perspective, we do not, even if I'm pitching my business alone, I don't come in and say, hi, I am building MoveMates. I say, hi, we are building MoveMates, even though people are not there. If they are there, then good. But you need to have a sense of unity. If one person, and if you do not know how to talk, it's okay. Be busy there and change the slides. When we are showing the demo, be the one showing the demo and all of that, and allow those that are able to speak to speak. But the point here is that let us show the spirit of unity when we are presenting, right? So, as I did say, that judges don't just want the code, they want to see it work. The honest truth, and I'm emphasizing again, if we cannot see your front end, it's hard for us to believe. Hence, in hackathons, we are building MVPs, minimum valuable product. I don't know if I mentioned it properly, but whatever the word is, it is. We want to convince the judges to say that we understand that we only had 2 days, but this is what we are able to build. This is where we are going. And if they see the app working, the buttons like having animations, they get like intrigued, because most, and except the Melsoft Academy like hackathon, that one, it was a merge, right, of business related judges and technical ones. So there was a firm balance in like the decisions of who was going to win, because they had people that knew what business needed and people that were technically inclined to actually decide to say that this is a good technical solution, right? So let us make the code work, guys. Let it be presentable. People need to be asking us after presenting, Hore, how did you make that graph? How did you make the AI to talk? And all of that, right? So yeah, front end is critical. It makes your solution visible and impressive. A polished UI can set you apart. This has always been my strong point in competitions. The UI, I kill it like nobody's business. I make sure that if I saw the button ili purple in the UI, in the UI designs from Figma, I'm gonna develop it exactly as it is. People love seeing things that make sense, right? I hope you're good. And roles that matters. Hackathons are team sports. We work hand in hand. In football, we have our strikers, we have our backers, we have like a goalkeeper and all of that, simply because each and every player in the field needs front end developers, need back end developers. Business analysts make the dream work. Project managers ensures that we deliver in time, right? Because with our front end developers, they will make our solution shine. They will make it good in the eye, and the back end developers, they will build the engine of it. Because sometimes, guys, technical judges are able to see if you just like hard coded something, I remember with the NetBank hackathon, the recruitment hackathon, they were able to tell us that we know that you didn't integrate anything there. We know that you didn't use our API, and we can tell, right? So have backend people focus on the things that matters, right? Allow front end developers to make the solution shine. People should be able to see it, and the making the solution shine. Going back to this point, ne, to say that front end is critical, it makes your solution visible and impressive. That's the only reason why I got hired at NetBank. I had three people in a team, two intermediate developers. During midnight, they were like, you know what, Matsapo, we're not doing this anymore. We are going home. I was left all alone, but I managed to build an application and I killed it. It was perfect. Everything went very good. Even though I didn't make it to the finalists, they were like, because you were able to build something that we were able, then it's a yes, you know. Um, where's the yeah. So the lesson that I learned from my journeys is that failing multiple times before hackathons, before winning, it is okay. Through it all, I have learned the power of networking, clear presentation, team balance in most hackathons that I attended with team people, and a consumer focused solution, customer focused solution all the time. It's not about you as a developer, but it's about how does Matepo receive this. I'm not going to go deep into detail because we only have few minutes remaining for questions. So I would like to end it here. I think this was literally the last part of the presentation. Yeah. Thank you so
Wow,
much.
wow. This was very, very, very informative. I'm sure a lot of people found this very valuable. You're a very good speaker. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. So there's a few questions from the chat. We can take them one at a time. I don't know if you can see them or you want me to read them out for you.
I cannot see. I just see like one question coming in. Not all of them. Let me go to the
Okay,
chat. Maybe it's there.
I can
But
read
you
them
can
out
go
for you.
with the first one in the meantime for time.
Okay.
Yes.
Um, Stephen Walker's asking, "What is a hackathon? Hackathon? I'm new here. In your words, what is a hackathon?"
A hackathon is a problem solving marathon, right? That's where it comes from. Think of a marathon. We all start here, 0 kilometers. We haven't done anything. But at the end of the day, we are going to reach that 10 kilometers and we're going to get our medals. So it's about how fast can you actually go and who gets to get there number one and actually like created a long impact. But in this case, you are solving a problem in a marathon, meaning that you need to be quick with it and you need to be smart with it, because people that actually run and get number one positions, they are smart with their running. They don't sprint from the word go. They actually do calculated like steps when they are running. That's why they are able to finish in record time. So it is just that.
Nice. I like that
Yeah.
answer. Like it. Strategy is important. Utumza is asking, where can I find hackathons?
um what is that website? I forgot what it is. um I'm gonna just check it quickly here.
Okay.
But it usually like posts like a lot of hackathons, and also you need to check gig culture. Someone who knows how to spell it needs to spell it there, gig culture, and then they're gonna get it. Um, they are the one that host like a lot of hackathons in South Africa.
Mhm.
Almost like after June, it's hackathon season, like all the time. Then just check that out. You will be good. Yeah,
Nice.
the name of the platform is called DevPost. So it has like national and international hackathons. Even the Girl Code hackathon, it's hosted through DevPost. So you need to check that out, then you'll be good.
Nice. Okay. I'm sure they heard all of that. The
Mm-hmm.
next question is, Can you participate in hackathons if you are a beginner?
Yes, you can. I participated in a hackathon when I was a beginner, but at the end of the day, I eventually figured it out. So there are no like limitations, unless like it's specific hackathons that are looking for specific people. Sometimes they'll tell you that we just want senior engineers, but if there's no specification like that, then don't stress yourself about that.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
And also, maybe to add a question, while you were speaking, I heard you say that the front end is important. Could you maybe give us like an experience that you had of like how the front end was more important like than the back end? Maybe there was a group that had the most brilliant idea, but because of their front end, they didn't win, or just like an experience you have about front
You
end
don't
in
want them to
future.
see your face. Okay.
Can you please repeat again?
Okay. I said during your presentation, you mentioned the importance of front end, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to know, is there like an experience you have where the front end mattered more or just as much as the back end, where maybe a group in the hackathon had like a brilliant idea, but because their front end wasn't good enough, or just any story you have for the audience?
I'm gonna this one, right? Please, if you can see my
Uh, Not yet.
because I'm talking about things that are
Okay, I can see it.
very practical. Um, okay, where's my mouse? I can see your mouse, but not mine. Okay, here we are. Can you see like this before I continue?
Okay, yeah, I can.
Immediately when you
Yes,
look at
yes,
this,
I
you're
see
like,
the
yo,
NetBank.
exactly. This is the web application I developed for the NetBank hackathon, right? But immediately when you see the login page, you're like, okay, this is nice. The whole gradient like colors that are coming in together, these circles and all together, they're creating an element of excitement, right? And to logging in, you go in to say that, okay, what is happening? And then you see, like you see the graphs, things moving, having the animation and all of that. Already you have the excitement to this, you because like the things that backend people talk about, you can already see them to say that, okay, we're getting somewhere. So the same feeling that you got when you saw this is how judges feel all the time whenever they're judging your solution, to say that, okay, we see what you're talking about, but can we please see it? And when you start seeing it and you explain how your APIs are working, how this is a lifetime incident tracking, like mechanical to understand, because they don't speak the language that you speak, which is the technical language. So it really plays a vital role, because when you don't have front end here, ne, we do not know how like this graph. How do you know that now the incidents that were needed to be resolved were 9.5? But like, cause the backend people were gonna write the code that is pulling all those incidents from where they are stored from the cloud. But in order for them to be pulled, it wouldn't be able to judge us what this means without actually developing it to be like this. It was just gonna be string that we are a JSON string that we are getting back, that has like a lot of numbers that are we're just gonna confuse. And to people that learned how to be developers, you definitely know how stressing a terminal is when you see it for the first time, because you're like, what is this black thing? What is happening here? But that's how judges, some of the business judges, when they see the code more than like the front end.
Okay, I like it. Nice. That's a very good example. Nice. And As someone who's attended a lot of hackathons, do you have maybe a favorite? Are you gonna be biased to one? Do you like, are you a fan of any of the hackathon hosts?
What's the question again? I just heard you saying that there's someone who has attended like a lot of hackathons.
As someone who has attended a lot of hackathons, do you have like maybe a favorite hackathon that you have been at?
No, because the way little am I. All of them is a learning curve. So it was not more onto I'm gonna attend hackathon because I like how they treat me and all of that. I need to go to Cape Town because I've taken flights to Cape Town, taken flights to Joburg simply because I knew that I don't know people that are organizing this hackathon, but I'm going there and I'm gonna come. Yeah.
Wow, that's very inspiring. That's very
Mm-hmm.
inspiring. And are there any more questions in the chat? Anyone, if you have any questions, you can ask. I might just have one last questions for you. So say there's a group that wants to join a hackathon. Which technical skills do you think is a necessity to have when joining hackathons, or maybe like a tech stack that you recommend for hackathons?
For front end, it should definitely be React if you are building a web application. You know, if you're building a mobile app, then you can go for React Native. You can go for Flutter. It's different things for different people. But the reason why I'm saying front end React because it's the first thing that you actually get to learn or to be taught after like moving from HTML. You know, so you go into writing code that makes more sense. You learn about separation of concerns. You learn about architectural designs that why should I have components stored sorry, why should I have components stored in one folder? Why should I have our logic of the application stored in one folder? So that can be the first thing. But I don't wanna be biased because we have different skills. Go with your front with your HTML. Trust me, there's a time where I developed a very beautiful web application with HTML and you wouldn't be able to know. But if you are like a developer that is very mindful of the code that you write, especially for long term use, then you know that you need to use better frameworks to write code. But as long as you have your front end, you have your back end dev doing whatever Python, Java, C sharp, and all of that, then you can be able to integrate the two. But skills, technical skills, need to be backed up by business people all the time. Allow developers to write code and allow business people to deal with the business part of the things. Yeah.
I like that very much. I like that. And
Okay.
could you tell us like the importance of an MVP, minimal viable product, in hackathons?
As I did say, the reason why we develop an MVP, right? It's to just give the judges the view to say that actually we are capable. Like, just give us an opportunity, right? Just have a limp of faith in us. We were able to develop this under pressure, firstly, and we got everything right. So please just believe in us. That's you literally begging them, but begging them with things that are actually being able to be seen and that makes sense. That's it. Even like in a business like world, when you're having an MVP, is to say that I'm still trying to check, I'm still trying to test the market. Is this like what they want? Is Twitter what people want? It's WhatsApp what people want. Then if you get more users, your idea gets validated to say that yes, we have passed the stage where we are actually testing like our market. Now we know that this is what they want. Then we can go on to improve. We can go on to adding more things. And I like putting things into depth. I'm gonna go back to Melsoft. Melsoft, it came in to say that, do you know that you can learn software engineering and actually work without a degree and you can get a good job? And people, let's go to Melsoft. And then after it tested the market, after it created the excitement, it came in to say that we can teach you AI. You know, we can teach you UI and UX. And it kept on adding all the things because they had successfully tested the market. They went out to see that this is what people want, and we got the response. Now let's give them what they want. So it's the same as an MVP. You are testing, you are telling the investors to say that just believe in me, we can do this. Then, yeah, that's why it's important.
Nice. I like that. You're a very good speaker, like I said
Thank you
before.
so much.
We could listen to you the whole day,
But yeah.
but unfortunately, the webinar has come to an
Mm-hmm.
end. Just a message to the audience is that at Melsoft, we are actually going to have a hackathon coming up soon, and we'll be
Mm-hmm.
sharing more details about the hackathon on our platforms, on our social media platforms. Stay out for the messages and the more details on that. Is there anything you want to say in closing?
Good luck on your hackathons. I hope you have learned so much from this and you are going to apply it. And don't worry, I have resigned from hackathons. They kicked me out to say that no, you've won a lot. Give other kids a chance. And now I'm just the mentor. So you're not going to see me, like with my laptop writing code. No, I will be there to mentor if like I'm supposed to be a mentor in any hackathon. But yeah,
Nice.
take what you have learned from this and do what you have to do with it. Yeah,
Nice. We can only hope to be like you, man. Can
it
only
gets
hope.
better with time, and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone that joined.
Thank you
Have a
so
nice day.
much.